Hey guys, congratulations of even being chosen to audition for the All-State Orff Ensemble. I only picked 6 kids out of the entire 4th grade, and it's based on how well you've done in music class, especially on recorder, but also some of you have piano skills, you were in chorus, you sang, you do a lot of musical things. So hopefully this will be a fun thing. So I want to give you a little bit of advice. The first thing is you want to do most of the work during the summer while you've got time, because you don't want to be starting 5th grade with all of the 5th grade projects and everything going on, trying to learn this music too. So it needs to be before school starts, already pretty good. Probably in a few weeks, I'll email you guys and see if you want to set up some Zoom lessons. I can go over some details or just hear how you're doing. Make sure there's no mistakes that are going to turn into a bad habit and throw you off. So in the rest of this playlist, there are videos from a music teacher, Katie Miller in South Florida, who's done a great job of putting videos together for everything for you. But since I've been teaching you for the last 3 years, I wanted to add some things that I know you may know or not know and go over a few things. So the first thing is, let's go over the body percussion first. So first thing you notice is it looks like a musical staff, but it's not really. It doesn't have a treble clef or a bass clef. It has at the bottom, snap, clap, pat, stomp. If you've watched the video, I bet you guys are smart enough, you've already figured out what that means. The first time you say the words as you do the body percussion, the second time you repeat and you only do the body percussion, you do not speak. There's no gap between. So I'm gonna do that so you can see how it goes continually. Make sure to speak nice and loud and clear. On the snapping, if you're not a good snapper, get somebody to help you now. But basically, your middle finger strikes your thumb as hard as you can, and the sound happens here when these fingers touch, and it happens when your middle finger hits your palm. So as best you can, you do want that to be you want to be able to hear it. All right, so here's how it goes from the beginning. And you won't be able to see me patting or stomping, but on the patting part, actually, so I've seen some people pat both hands at the same time on their knees, and I've seen some people pat one at a time. Either way is fine, whatever's comfortable for you. So here's how it goes. Good night. Sleep tight. Don't let the bed bugs bite. So there you go, that's that. On the canon, the second one that you sing, I would practice with the video that I put up of Are You Sleeping with that singer. So let's see, so I will play you an F on the piano. You could use your xylophone and play an F, or you can play an F on your recorder to practice at home. You want to make sure you're used to starting on that right note, because it may be a little higher than what a lot of you might be used to singing. So an F on the recorder is put your fingers like you're playing a G with a thumb down in the back. Just add one more finger to the front, and that's an F. Are you sleeping? So you can just use that to start and practice with that video that she made. Pay attention on that one to where it looks like a comma. It's actually in music called a breath mark. So you only breathe after the second time of sleeping, after the second time you sing John, after the second time you sing ringing, and after at the very end. So you want to get a good breath in the beginning and practice doing that. You'll probably realize you're breathing a lot more than you're supposed to be. So watch out for that too. All right, let's see. On the recorder, there's notes you haven't seen before on the recorder. So let's go over those really quick. I emailed your parents a fingering chart that shows you all of them. So first off, if these are notes you're not so comfortable reading, just remember, we've been doing this since 3rd grade. Every good burger deserves fries. E, G, B, D, F, and F, A, C, E, face for the spaces. So that'll help you. Towards the end of the first line, there is one note that is below the line. It's a quarter note and it's just below the line. That note is a D. So if you go, the bottom line is an E for every. One note before E in the alphabet would be D. So that's that one. So let's say the notes together really quick, and you can feel free to pause this video and practice the way you want as much as you need to. So G, E, G, A, C, A, G, A, E, G, D, E, E, D, C, D, C, A, G, C, A, G, A. And so the rhythm, you might not be sure on some of those notes. If you I'm gonna play it for you, and if you kind of learn it that way by listening to it, you'll get the rhythm right. So the beginning, G, you know that. The second note, E, it's just like a G, add 2 more fingers at the bottom. G, A. Now C, that was the new note that you learned at the end, the very end of the year for black belt. So C, A, G, A, another E, G, D, and then E. Now starting on the second line, it's a high E. And in one of the videos, she says, vent your thumb. I vent the first finger. And what that means is, and get really close, I just lift my first finger off just enough for a little air to come out. And the best way is just to listen. So when it's covered all the way, it's going to be low. When you vent it just a little bit to let a little air out, so you can play around with that. So in the second line, it starts on the high E. It's exact same fingers as the low E, except for you vent the top hole. The next note is D. It's just like the low D that we did in the first line, except you vent the top again. C, we know C from Miss Mary Mac. And then D again, vented. C, A, G, C, A, G, A. And so when you put it all together, it does have a metronome marking at the beginning. If you're used to practicing with a metronome, it says 92 to 104. So I'm probably going to go closer to 92 because I haven't learned this one very well yet. So I'm going to go on the slower side. So if you know what a metronome is, you know how to use a metronome, set it to 92 and practice with that. But it goes like this. There you go. So that's recorder. And then on the xylophone, there's 2 xylophone pieces. The biggest thing I want to show you, and I'm just saying this because a couple years ago, the best, most prepared student of all for All-State did not make it. And the reason was his hand position. So we haven't done this in a while. We did this when you were in 3rd grade. The correct way to hold mallets, see if I can get back away or show you, is your thumb sits flat, your first finger curls around, and you're making a pivot. That's basically what's happening right there. So it's very important this first finger curls around. The other 3 fingers, they just gently sit on the stick. Now your hand, I know I'm holding this way too high, but the palm of your hand should be facing the floor. And so those last 3 fingers, they're on the stick, but they're loose so it can bounce. You want a lot of bounce. You do not want to hit that xylophone and go thunk. That's not a pretty sound. You want it to bounce and come up. Make sure you do not, a bad habit a lot of students do is try to do that. If you do that, it can't bounce, and so you're going to get that thunky sound, but also they'll count off, and that's where I had a student a couple years ago make a big mistake on that. So make sure you keep that finger wrapped around like that on both hands. They should both match each other. So maybe get your, whichever hand you write with done first and make the other match, palms to the floor, and just let it bounce when you play. The very first xylophone piece, the Wahlberg piece, no, not the Wahlberg piece, the alto xylophone mallet piece, starts with your hands crossed, left hand on top. D, A, D, A, and then you got to go play a low D. So watch out. They have the left and rights written underneath all the notes for a reason. You have to play them exactly the way I have those marked. And then the last one, just make sure you're constantly switching sticks. Don't play right, 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 left, right, right. It's got to be right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left. So constantly changing hands. And that's it. So I'll send an email soon. So be working on this, and I look forward to hearing you, and we'll Zoom. And if your parents have any questions, they can email me too. But good luck. I'm really proud of you already for just being picked. Bye.